Hey guys, Kev here, and I wanted to show you a really cool knife. This is the Kershaw Launch 20. So this is from the Kershaw Launch series, their automatic knife series, made in the US. And this one's in CPM MagnaCut. And I believe it came out earlier this summer. And I just saw it, I don't know, a couple weeks ago, a month ago, and I hit up the guy I talked to at Kershaw and was like, hey, could I check out the Launch 20 because it looks sexy as hell? And he said, yeah, send one out. So I got it, and I've had it for a few weeks. I've used it a lot, and I gotta tell you, I absolutely love this knife. It is fantastic. Might be my favorite automatic out the side knife that I've ever handled. I actually have the Kershaw Launch 19 right here. Came back from pass around so we can compare it. This is the 19. Both of these are excellent knives. I do prefer the 20 for the more streamlined design. I feel like it's got a little bit of a sci-fi look to it. Beautiful handle. And I like that blade shape just a little bit better. I do like this blade shape, but it's more of a drop point where this is a sheep's foot. This is also a larger knife, taller knife. This is a slimmer, smaller knife. Not really smaller in length, I guess. A little bit, but it's just a smaller package, if you know what I mean. Also, this knife is in MagnaCut, where this knife is in CPM 154. Both great, both good knives. Check out my video on the Launch 19. But the Launch 20 is amazing. Now look at that satin grind on there. This is one of my favorite types of satins. I don't know what it is. I'm not the biggest fan of these sort of polished satin grinds, but for some reason the ones from Kershaw and Benchmade, they really just stand out to me. They sort of have this like almost matrix look to them because I believe they're done on a CNC machine. I could be wrong, but I believe so. And it just has this interesting look to it. It's almost like computerized in some way. And I've always thought that was really cool. It's got a nice thin blade, flat ground, but it comes down to a nice thin edge. You got a nice tip there. It's not too dainty, but not thick at all. And this thing will destroy cardboard, super slicey through cardboard. I got an electric scooter, which more to come on that. Absolutely in love with riding the electric scooter. I was at Blade Show West last year, Salt Lake City, and Colin and I rented scooters after the show. Every night we would ride those to dinner. We'd ride them to the hotel, wherever, right? We had one day where we went around and checked out some of the Mormon stuff. Like we checked out their main church or temple, whatever it's called, sorry. And we just kind of scooted around, and it was so much fun that it kind of makes you feel like a kid again. And so I always wanted to get one, and I finally did. And now I think I might be getting sucked into the electric scooter game. So you'll probably see videos on those. But anyway, it came in a big ass box and thick ass cardboard, and I cut all of it down with this knife, and it absolutely destroyed it. I will say after that and some other cardboard cutting and such, it did dull the edge out a little bit. Not like dull, I just was trying to cut paper, and it wasn't, cleanly slicing paper like it was out of the box. It was super sharp. So I stropped it with just a paddle and green compound, and I think I hit it on my ceramic rod for a second, and it's back to cutting paper real easily, and feels sticky and feels great. But if that means anything to you, like I said, it was really thick cardboard, and I was not easy on it. I mean, I was really jamming it through when I needed to. And it took the beating. It never unlocked. It never felt like it was going to unlock or anything. It's still completely solid. There's no play side to side or up and down. It's really amazing how sturdy it is, considering it's, I believe, essentially just a plunge lock, right? I mean, it doesn't have a secondary lockup of any kind, does it? But I guess it's a little different than a traditional plunge lock. You can probably cover more of the blade, maybe. I don't know. But I'm not an expert on that. You guys let me know. Anybody who's an expert on out the side autos, I'm not. This is, you know, I've reviewed probably 10 of them, you know, and I enjoy them for a time, but, you know, they're not super fidgety, so they don't tend to stay in my pocket long term. I will admit this one is probably my favorite one that I've ever handled. It's such a good knife. I would love to see Kershaw take this design and turn it into a ZT. You guys tell me if that would be sick. If they made a ZT launch 20, like manual folding launch 20, call it, you know, maybe a flipper or something. I think that would be pretty slick. You could even, I don't know how you could do it. I mean, honestly, I wouldn't even mind an auto if it was a ZT. But if you could put a little flipper tab here or a front flipper on it or something, I think it would be pretty dope. I love I love the overall design aesthetic of this thing. The black accents with the aluminum frame. That aluminum frame is gorgeous. They polished it really nice. Whatever that finish is, I mean, it almost looks like a raw finish, but it's just so nice. That carbon fiber inlay is done extremely well. I mean, I can feel the transition. I can catch that corner, but I mean, this is not a $400 knife or anything. Speaking of which, I did look. It's on their website right now, Kershaw's website, for $191.99 if you want to pick it up. It's also on Blade HQ's website for like $144 right now. Those are the two places I saw it. Oops. Not the biggest fan of Blade HQ right now, just because some of the stuff they're doing to smaller companies, but I figured I'd mention it because some of you guys are going to want the best deal, and I think Magna Cut on a USA made knife for $144, that's pretty crazy. Now, I think getting it from Kershaw for $191 is just as impressive. So if I was going to get one, I would just get it from Kershaw so as not to buy it from Blade HQ, but it is what it is. Here's the markings on it. USA 7050, I guess that's the serial number. Kai, Magna Cut. There's their little in-house Millennial Falcon. And then Kershaw Auto there. Beautiful, beautiful knife. Ergonomics are phenomenal. It's a simple design, but really comfortable in the hand. That jimping is perfectly placed there. You know, you could maybe use some up here, but you usually don't need it because you're not doing anything where you're like, you know, really jamming on it. You're just kind of doing a, you know, finesse type utility cut or something like that. Yeah, I mean, if you just look at the design, it's very clean. It's obviously a clamshell design. Very common with these USA made plunge lock designs, whether it's a button lock flipper like the Malibu or the Mordax, or it's a launch series knife. They tend to be this kind of clamshell design where it's just two pieces that go together. So I don't know, you know, I thought for a while that ProTech was making the launch series, but Kershaw has clearly said that they make them in their own factory in Tualatin. So I believe that. And maybe that's just a manufacturing thing. Maybe somehow with these plunge lock style things, it's easier to have a clamshell instead of having a 3-piece, which I guess does just by default make it more difficult, you know. The packaging, I believe, was the same. Yep. Same as the rest of the launch series, just a, you know, red and black box. There's your sticker. So maybe that's the model number, not the serial number. And that's it on there. And that's really it when it comes to the knife. It hammers out. I mean, you can see. I had some folks here helping me with QC on one of my knives over the weekend, and they grabbed this one, and they all were like, geez, that thing is strong. They thought it was almost too strong for the knife. And to me, it's perfect. I never thought that. But, you know, as long as you hold on to the handle, either if you just squeeze a little bit, it doesn't feel super strong at all. If you're just holding it barely, yeah, I mean, it can feel like it's jumping, but it doesn't feel like it jumps out of your hand. I don't think it feels any weaker than the 19, but the 19 has a little bit more meat behind it, I guess. So maybe you don't feel that rebound as much, where with the 20, because it's such a lightweight aluminum frame, it almost feels like it's all milled out in there. It's not. Super lightweight. So maybe it just feels a little jumpier than that. For me, it's perfect. So, you know, but maybe if you had arthritic hands or something where you do worry about stuff like that, then, you know, maybe you got to be careful. But you can always just deploy it on your hand and then slowly let it come out. And you're fine. As long as you make sure it, you know, locks up, you're good to go. So, excellent knife. I'll do a couple of size comparisons and then I'll get you guys out of here. This is the TRM Bulldog. My video on this is coming. I was going to film this right before it, but I had some questions and I decided to shoot them an email and actually do the research for once. Sometimes I don't, and I just, you know, I just wing it and ramble. That's what I do on reviews. But I had a really interesting question, and I figured I'd wait. So anyway, there's a size comparison, almost dead on. Both American-made knives there, so anybody who gives me shit for only showing Chinese knives, there's two American-made ones for you. Let me grab a Chinese-made knife. I'm trying to find something in the same size. Here's a more affordable knife, the Remet RTB, as in sting your ass B, right there. Also very similar in size. Say, just a touch shorter maybe. By the way, this knife is fantastic. It is made overseas, but it is in 14C 28N, beautiful G10, probably the best proud liner knife I've ever seen. And right now it's $59. If you use my code, LeftyEDC, that gets you another 5% off, so it's like $57. And it's definitely the best $57 knife I have ever handled. Feels way more premium than that. So there's some size comparisons for you on the Kershaw Launch 20. Let me know what you guys think of this one. Is it your favorite Launch Series knife? Because it is mine. I'm going to throw this into the pass around group so the boys can check it out. And yeah, clip is reversible, by the way, if you weren't noticing. I have the clip on the left side. It obviously comes on the right side, and it carries like a dream. Deep carry, loop over. I will say that clip does, you know, you do feel it in your palm a little bit. So, you know, I do like this clip a little bit better, the one on the Launch 19. For whatever reason, I just don't feel that as much down in the palm there. Now, of course, I'm choking up 90% of the time, so that helps. You can choke up a little bit on this, but you don't have a choil, but it does kind of get me to clear away from that bend over there. But you can see how the clip sticks out the back here, so she said. And that is not the best design aspect because then you really feel it. But, you know, I don't know what else they could have done. One of these little clips would have been nice, I think. Just a little lower bend, shorter clip, but it's absolutely excellent. The best launch series knife, and one of my favorite Kershaws of all time. So shout out to Kershaw. Thank you for sending in the Launch 20, and please make a ZT out of this design. Would love to see a Launch 20 inspired premium ZT. That would be absolutely fantastic. Even if it was like a slip joint, would be cool, you know? All right, I'm gonna shut up. I love you guys. I hope you have an absolutely fantastic day. Links are down below for everything, and I'll catch you later. Peace.